Alrighty, am I live? Is this thing on? Jokes aside, I know I'm on and I'm live. And so I will begin by humbly asking anybody watching to consider hitting that like button. I understand if you gotta watch a few minutes of this in order to make a decision on that. But maybe hit like now. You can always retroactively remove it if you don't like it. Hopefully you forget to unlike my content after hitting the like button, and then I'm a happy camper. But beyond that, I wanted to kind of like share a little bit of a glimpse of what I have planned, and hopefully get a video out like right now by virtue of going live. People advise me that if you have trouble editing and recording videos, it's a good idea to just do live streams. And I see it works. The strategy does work. It's a good idea. But I have things I really want to do in like video format, in a sort of long form. But when I'm making a video, if I see the thing gets longer than 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I start thinking like how things were back in the old days of YouTube when you weren't allowed to have a video longer than 10 minutes. And I see that as like actually a decent rule of thumb. Like, if I can't say what I'm trying to say in 10 minutes, maybe I'm not doing it concisely enough. So I sometimes re-record the same video multiple times. And like, for example, I have a video that I want to really come out with like soon, but every time I record it, I decide to redo it. At this point, I have like a lot of source material for the video. And I have some of it in my editing software, and I have some of it in a directory that I copied from my phone, because some of it required me to kind of just use my phone camera at the time. And the topic is digitizing VHS tapes, believe it or not, using FireWire on a digital video camcorder. And essentially, I'll go into my web browser and, basically pull up some stuff, like, let me see here. And the funny thing is, when you record a, whatchamacallit? What the heck is it called? Okay, let's see here. Let me remember here for a second. Okay, so I'm just looking up something very important here. And this webpage should be instructive in explaining what I'm trying to explain here. Okay. So my preface here is my method of digitizing VHS tapes involves hooking the video output on a VCR to a DV or digital video camcorder, a Sony Handycam in this case. So you go from the output on the VCR into the camcorder, and then the video signal goes out through FireWire. So essentially, you're doing AV to DV pass through. And back in the day, if you had one of these camcorders, you would have something like, looks like a headphone jack on one end, and the other end of the cable would be a regular composite AV cables, like on your Nintendo or Nintendo 64. And you would normally go from the camcorder to the back of your TV because you had a tape that you couldn't put in a VCR. So you would use the camcorder as your player, as your VCR. As it turns out, on some camcorders, you could essentially run that output in reverse and run it as an input, and you could record directly onto the little cassette tapes if you wanted to, which is kind of a waste of money, but you could, if you wanted to, do that. But more useful is that you can go into the camcorder and then send that video signal out through FireWire. And I find this is an excellent way to digitize VHS tapes, as insane as it sounds. And that's part of it. I'll record a video on this topic. I'll spend like a couple minutes trying to explain, well, not even try, I will explain why it's not as insane as it sounds. And then I look at the time and I go, I've been at it for like 12 minutes. I feel like I should have been able to do this part of the video in 4 minutes, and other stuff like that. But generally, once you have the video file, you do have to re-encode it. I mean, you don't have to. The great thing about the DV video format is that it's very, like, it's not heavily compressed. It's got a good balance between compression and quality. And so it's very easy to edit videos in that format. And so basically, I want to include all of this information in a video that is cleanly edited And I'm sometimes rethinking that, hey, maybe I should just do it in a live stream and just call it video when I'm done, you know, like do all of the talking points, boom, 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 boom. And it's like, okay, we'll just rename the live stream to the subject matter, or I'll download the live stream, which I always record them locally anyway. And I'm not recording. Now I'm recording. And then I can use the live stream as my source material, because for some reason when you're live, I feel like you don't have an opportunity to get self-conscious. You know, you can't stop a live stream in the middle and start over again. Granted, I did edit a couple of live streams, but I found that YouTube is not very reliable to edit a live stream. Like, you shouldn't even bother. I mean, I tried, you know, taking out the first 10 minutes of dead air on a live stream, and it ended up sitting in processing for like days before I could nudge it out of the queue on YouTube. So that was a waste of my time and effort. But anyway, what do I still have coming up? Well, I want to do a Retropalooza review. I went to ValhallaCon and Retropalooza over a week ago, nearly 2 weeks ago now. And, you know, I want to go over some of these spoilers. So once again, if this is something that I, you know, began recording, but there's more content to add to the video. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have a video where I'm wearing 2 different sets of wardrobe on 2 different days, where I record part of the video in the daytime, already done, record another portion of the video at nighttime, and just put it together, you know, because I've already done most of the legwork on the video. Why, you know, rebuild the wheel? On the other hand, I could do the video from scratch in a similar format to what I'm doing now. And so some of the stuff I would be going over in this video would be things like this Luke Skywalker Pez dispenser. And, well, if it's hard to see, that's entirely understandable. Here we are. So, my webcam should autofocus. There we go. See, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, he's even got the visor. He's got the little goggles on the actual Pez helmet, which I think is like a really cool design. And then beyond that, it's your garden variety Pez dispenser. Man, I gotta say, the exposure on my downward facing camera is all thrown off by the color of my desk and keyboard. And so when I'm recording, I tend to figure, okay, I can edit this by re-recording this clip right here, and I find myself wasting extra time there. So another reason why I'm starting to see the allure in doing, you know, like live to tape, as we call it. In fact, well, I tried that too. So back in a, you know, like if you ever watched a TV show on YouTube called Computer Chronicles, they filmed that live to tape, meaning that you're not live on the air, but you're basically live to tape, meaning you don't get an opportunity to edit the show. You're just going to record it to tape. What you have is what you get. You don't spend any time editing, and that's, you know, what the you send, what you mail out to the various TV studios of the 1980s, because that's when that show was recorded. So anyway, let's do an experiment. We're going to crank down the exposure time quite a bit, and we're going to see if we can get these things to come in better detail. So that does look a little better. You know, essentially, we use, you know, can I show that? Well, I could show that, but it's in the wrong angle. So let me try something here. Well, that's, whoops. Oh, I see what OBS did. That was weird. I just tried dragging something on top, and OBS was like, oh, no. Okay, there we go. So I can actually take this and put it behind me, I guess. What did I do? Whoops, I see what I did. Man, I need a producer. Yeah, speaking of producers, you know, essentially YouTube channel is where somebody is controlling the board, so to speak, controlling OBS, controlling, you know, anything, reading the super chats if that is applicable. I don't know if that's the correct name, because I'm pretty sure you call what people call a producer sounds more like a technical director to me. as I remember from my days in public access. Not that I was a big, public access guy, but I mean, and I'm not saying that you can learn a lot from public. You can learn something from public access, but it's interesting. A lot of people who did public access didn't really go anywhere, and either they didn't care, and that's okay, and other people, they thought they were going to become like superstars, and well, they didn't. So where was I? So I want to show this. Yeah. This is the Logitech software. Okay, we should just go to full screen. This is why we have editing, I guess. Whoops, I just screwed it up. Okay, so you see on the bottom left corner of my screen what we have here, and some of the crap you gotta fidget with. Okay, now it looks pretty good. Before I felt like it was a little overexposed. Oh, whoops. I think it could look better, but you know what? I can live with that. See, sometimes the exposure gets all screwed up. Like if I bring the item out for a wide shot, that's the point where I feel that I need to go manual. So what we can do is the Logitech software is in automatic mode, but you can see when I'm looking at the screen right now, and I can actually see what settings. So essentially what happened was when I took my pest dispenser and moved it away from the camera, these sliders here moved backwards or forwards in order to compensate. Same thing like we're seeing here with the white balance, which is still on automatic. So I left these locked in manual right now, and now we're still going to rely on autofocus because it's superbly tedious. What I wish I had was my current main webcam is 720p, 1080p, 60 frames a second. Hey, what up, Abahadabra111? Yo, I really love, what the heck, you posted some cool shit, like, in the past week. And I wanted to just acknowledge that, because I can't leave comments on half your stuff. And sometimes I get, like, on a couple of videos, I was able to, like, I had, like, I saw the comments was opened, and I was going to leave a comment, but then later on, the comment area wasn't available, so I couldn't leave a comment. And that's cool, I respect, I understand people can be dicks, and it may be undesirable to get comments from every Tom, Dick, and Harry. But I would implore you to consider maybe having like one video every week or two, every couple of weeks even maybe, that has open comments on it, just so that, people can engage your content a little bit. But at the same time, maybe like 9 out of 10 videos don't allow comments so that people can't, don't get as many opportunities to be dicks. So I don't know if you're still watching, but that would be my recommendation or opinion on that. And it looks like I still do have one viewer. No, wait. Do I? Yeah, I got one viewer. All right. I'm looking at the metrics here. Yeah, I got metrics. Now, okay. But that sucks, man. Well, I didn't even know that. Are you saying that they actually block comments? Like, so it's like you don't get control over that anymore? You can still post videos, but you can't do comments? Is that what's happening? Or you just outright blocked, you can't upload anything right now? I've been able to avoid that so far, but as you can see, I haven't posted a lot lately, so like I haven't had I do have a little B project, actually, though. I do have a second project on the other video site, the one that sounds like a bit and a shoot, like a laundry chute. Yeah, I have a special, I have like another channel. And what I've been doing is I got these VHS tapes of a TV show from the late 90s and early 2000s from the local public TV station. And this show wasn't allowed to be on and like before midnight. They only played it after midnight on weekends. And it is a crazy show, but I feel like I have a bunch of them recorded on VHS, and I feel like it's like a matter of historical record to show it off. So I'm going to be uploading to my alternate, and I got to figure out how to get my link out there, because like I feel like I shouldn't share it directly on my YouTube channel, but I need to find some way to like get traffic from here to there without making a ruckus on YouTube. Okay, no video out for a week. Cool, no worries. But you know, I'm always keeping an eye out. Or you do come up in my notifications. I don't even have to check your channel. A lot of times, you just come up in my notifications, which I think is, you know, good. At least, you know, I'm getting notifications, you know. So anyway, what I was talking about, I kind of went off topic. I was dicking around with my camera, but getting back on here, let's see, how are my exposure settings? All right, this should be good if the autofocus decides to keep working. So I was showing off this Pez dispenser, but I keep using the same one as my test. So let's just keep rolling with it here. So next cool Pez dispenser is this Ewok right here. Look at that. It's the guy from Return of the Jedi, I think. Yeah, I forgot his name, but he's actually got a name too. It's like Dackett or some funny name. Like, whoa, that's funny. My webcam is superimposed on my arm. I gotta adjust that. How do I adjust that? Okay, I'm here. My head is here. Yeah, I actually had to split my head up in order to let the green screen work. Let me I think I can do something here. I can maybe just, you know what? We're just gonna do that. Now you can see my beverage on top of my screen. We're just gonna live with it. It looks a little weird, but I don't really. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so look at that. So I bought like a pack. I got these from a guy at Retropalooza in Texas. I visited Arlington, Texas for Retropalooza. And it's basically, you know, retro toys, retro gaming. And this guy was selling a set of Pez dispensers. So I got Luke Skywalker. I got the Ewok guy. I'm using my secondary webcam because Luke Skywalker's eyes get all screwed up. Yellow and green mixed together, I guess. I got this Stormtrooper right here. Let's see, come on, focus. TK421. Yeah, this one is really, there we go. This one's kind of overexposed on the camera, but at least it blocks the dirt. So yeah, I mean, these are pretty nice. I mean, I'm glad. They were only $5. I was like, I have to buy these, you know, and then let's see, we got Ms. Leia. Come on, focus. Gosh. So I got manual focus on my main webcam, but I have like this autofocus on my secondary camera. Now I can manually control it through an app, but at least with my main camera, I could physically turn the lens on it. What I hate about my main camera is I don't want to manually adjust the focus because I want it to be in focus on my head. Maybe I should just buy a second webcam with the manual focus. I don't know. I got to figure something out. Yeah, so there we go. Ms. Carrie Fisher. I love that. Oh my God. I feel like they made the buns like extra large just to exaggerate it a little bit, you know? Look at that. I block the face, the autofocus kicks in. I move my finger, the autofocus is like, nah, you know what? We're not going to work. You know what? We're going manual here. I can't have this. It's distracting. I want to be able to read the chat, but I can't read the chat if I'm looking at doing this constantly. So we're going to manually set it, lock it in right there. There we go. That should be a good focus. No worries, man. I appreciate that. You know, I don't endorse anything that would, you know, cause artificial likes, but if they're real, genuine likes, you know, I'm delighted and appreciative of that. All right, so that's 2. And can I put these somewhere where they can be seen? Nah, you can't. Well, if I was in my main camera view, I could. But okay, I got 2 more Star Wars related. So obviously we know who Chewbacca is. That one's pretty nice. I actually got pictures of a set of cookies I bought at Retropalooza. And one of the cookies has Chewbacca's like, you know, ammunition belt painted on the cookies. And it was made by some random guy's wife. I still have C-3PO. I still have the C-3PO cookie. Oh man, that exposure is super bright. Oi. All right, let's just crank that down a little bit. Hey, what up, Moira Kitty? It's good to see you. There we go. Yeah, obviously that's C-3PO. I mean, he's yellow and shit, right? That's him. I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations. This one's going to be delicious. I mean, that icing, it's like that hard candy icing right there. This stuff is going to be good. I might eat it right now. No, I'm going to leave that alone for now. So, yeah, but I'm taking it easy, Moira Kitty. I just got back, well, I got back a week and a half ago from Arlington, Texas for Retropalooza and ValhallaCon. And sort of doing like a teaser of sorts, a preview of what I'm going to show in an edited video. At least that's my intent. I might just decide to do another live stream where I go over my Retropalooza haul live, because for some reason I have a really hard time recording videos. And I mean, I can record, I can edit, but I get this like a quest for perfection where I keep re-recording the same video. But yeah, this one is real cool. I like this one a lot. Like, so between this, the Luke Skywalker, like, and the Stormtrooper, I mean, how all of these are all super cool. Like, I had to have this set. Like, everything here is just awesome, especially for $5. This was an awesome set. And then you got this guy. I have no idea if is this like Flash Gordon? I don't know. Is this Thor back in the 80s? Someone else might know, but I certainly do not know if this is Thor or Flash Gordon. Michael Jackson? No, it's not Michael Jackson, but yeah, I haven't excuse me, English. I haven't the least of an idea who that man is. So we're gonna put these back in for now. Maybe at some point I adjust my my filming set a little bit. Maybe put up a shelf with these Pez dispensers up on it. You know, I do want to reposition my desk a little bit, but I've made a lot of progress with you know, the blue screening. I used to have trouble where I couldn't do video during the daytime because this area would get washed out by the sunlight. So what I did was I split the green screen into like sections, and now I don't have that problem. And I mean, I don't stand over here. I never stand here, so it's not an issue if I go. I have to really lean into it. Horace got bored and turned to the hours. By the way, my other friend in the stream, so I got two friends here, Moira Kitty, who I've met not long ago. You're relatively new in my streaming life, but it's been great so far. And then my other friend is Abrahadabra111. It's a long name. First time I read it, I couldn't read it. I thought it was Abrahadabra on, but no, it's clearly 111. So he posts really interesting videos, and it may not be stuff that everyone agrees with, but I gotta say, like, he gets this like one guy who claims he's an alien. His name is Bashar, and even if the guy is making this shit up, he's a riot. I mean, the guy is like amusing. He's hilarious. He trolls people in a funny way. I don't know. I just love the way the guy speaks, and I don't have to believe his shtick that he's an alien. He might be, but I mean, I can't prove or disprove it, you know. And there's no reason that, like, some people might leave really negative comments or something like that, but it's like no reason to. Okay, take it or leave it, you know. But the guy is mad fun, and I think he's got a positive energy to him, so that's what matters. So moving on, what else did I get at Retropalooza? Well, I picked up a GameStruck, and Abra is cool. I really like saying the long version of your name, but I'll stick with Abra if that's what you prefer. In fact, this is not the GameStruck that I bought because... Where did I put it? Here we are. Okay, this is a difference because you have two types. Well, you got multiple types, but this one has a parallel port on it, you know, like an old school printer. Can we pull up that secondary camera? All right. You know, one of those old printer ports, and this one also has glitter on it. I didn't notice the glitter until just now. This one has the words "okay" written on it, but it's not okay. I kind of bricked it. So with GameStruck, it's very weird. It's not like a Game Genie. So with Game Genie on the old Nintendo, you put the cartridge in, and you get a book, and the book says, put in these codes. And for example, in Super Mario Bros. 1, it's SLX, PLOVS. I still remember the codes, some of the codes for Super Mario 1. And if I was to go and punch in the codes for Super Mario 3 right now, and I looked at the book at a glance, I'm pretty sure it would come back to me, because the code I just remembered for Mario 1, I didn't remember it, but someone said it on a stream like weeks ago, and it stuck in my mind since because I already sort of remembered the code. So Game Genie is easy. You put the cartridge in on top of the Game Genie. You put it in your Nintendo. Nintendo boots up to a menu of some code area. You type in your code, and you hit Start Game. And now, you know, your game has cheats enabled. You know, Mario can jump really high. You got unlimited lives. You know, you can't die, whatever it is. GameStruck is a little different. At least Nintendo 64 GameStruck is a little weird. I could even demonstrate it right now. I could plug it in if you guys wanted me to show it. But essentially, you get a menu, and it asks you which game you're running. So it's got like 10 options, but some of the options will have like 3 games next to it. So like maybe Mario 64, 1080 snowboarding, and Banjo-Kazooie are like on the first like line. And this is not accurate, I'm just giving an example. And in the second line we'll say GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Mission Impossible. And the idea is if I want to play Mission Impossible, I have to go and select the second item on the list, since that's where Mission Impossible is listed, or GoldenEye. Then you turn off your Nintendo, you put your game, the correct game in. So if this is Mission Impossible, I put it in. And when you turn it on, the Game Shark is set to play this game. Now, what if I selected Mission Impossible, but I don't actually have Mission Impossible? Well, you can't put Mario in, because if I put a different game in while I was trying to start Mission Impossible, it gives you a blank screen. Straight up blank screen. And sometimes you can fix it by putting a generic game in, but in many cases, you have to reset the Game Shark by plugging in another Game Shark, and that somehow tricks it into resetting. The other problem is when you buy these, you don't know if somebody, bricked it, if you don't know if somebody messed it up or not until you try it out. Some of them you can't fix at all, and others you can fix by having 2 of them plugged into each other. There is an additional complication with my current N64 because it's modified, but that's another topic for another day. You met Bashar? Oh, that's cool. See, I'm very fascinated by that. I think you might have done an astral projection video the other day, if I remember correctly. I was at work, so I probably wasn't paying thorough attention, and I might have paused the video in the middle and forgot to revisit it, but I will revisit that video because the idea of astral projection fascinates the shit out of me. Now, I think like if I go on Reddit and I go to the astral projection Reddit page, I'm not 100% sold on everyone's account, but just because some people are wrong, just because some people might be making it up or misunderstanding their experiences, doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And, my concern is like when folks like might think that they experience astral projection, but maybe it really was just a dream, and I feel like you could be a firm believer of astral projection and still accept the possibility that some of your experiences may just be dreams, and I understand there's those scientific types who will always be like, it's got to be a dream, it's only a dream, it can't be anything else. And it's like there's sort of 2 extremes. I think I want to find some middle ground on that. But yeah, I mean, I've had dream experiences where it felt like astral projection. I mean, when I was a kid, a baby almost, 4 years old, I would have this out-of-body experience type of dream where I'd fly out my window and fly back into my bed. I would float back into my bed. That shit was interesting. And then other times I had regular dreams. I have this dream where I'm about to fall down the stairs, and then right when I'm falling down the stairs, I get scared. I'd wake up from the dream. And that was a recurring dream. When I got a little older, I would have dreams where I would fly, and the minute I realized that I can't fly in real life, therefore I'm in a dream, I would either wake up from the dream because for some reason my subconscious or my conscious mind, whatever it was, didn't allow me to experience that for some reason. And then eventually I started being able to stay asleep, but when I would realize in the dream that I'm not supposed to be flying in real life, the minute I realized I was in a dream, I would lose the ability to fly. I would start gliding back down and be on the ground. So in more recent experiences, I've been able to have a little more control over my dreams. I think it helped that I read a book about lucid dreaming, because even if I don't employ strategies from that book, just by reading a book about lucid dreaming, I go to bed. It could be the same night, it could be a few weeks later, a few days later, but I have these ideas in my head, and I don't know, I think it helps me have lucid dreams just by reading that book, especially the audio book. I'm more likely to remember my dreams or remember having control over some of my dreams, which I think if I keep at it, I can have more control. And if I can control my dreams, I may be able to control some other esoteric ability that science does not currently understand, or at least does not acknowledge openly. Because I mean, there's creatures on this planet that use what is it? They actually have a term for it. It's similar to, it's not telepathy, but it's electro communication. Electro sensation. I can't remember the word. It's a really basic word too, but it kind of makes sense. It's sort of like wired communication over salt water. And that could explain quite a bit, especially with octopi, octopodes, octopus. Some people have had interesting accounts with certain types of unknown octopuses, feeling like they were able to have something transmitted into their mind, and maybe that's through the salinity of the water, as opposed to radio waves per se. And I don't know, it's like a whole other fascinating thing. But I think that these are things that should be explored. In the book about lucid dreaming, in that book I'm reading, in fact, the title is Lucid Dreaming, the author talks about some experiments that he conducted himself where him and a friend would agree to meet up, or he would talk to a friend after meeting up with a friend in the dream, and the friend would go, "Oh, you mean the dream where we were at this place and this happened?" And they didn't talk before the dream. It's like one of these things where, like, he spoke to the person after the fact, after visiting them in the dream. So that was kind of interesting. It's like, it's hard to verify independently, but if you can take someone's word for it, it is somewhat, it's pretty compelling evidence, or pretty compelling, first-hand accounts on that matter. You think? Dolphins and whales being octopuses? I mean, aliens, dolphins, whales. I mean, it's an interesting theory that dolphins, whales, and octopuses are aliens, because, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I got another one for you. I don't know, where to stand on this one. This was interesting to me. I was talking about this with a friend, how insects are strange, or different, so to speak. And my friend put forth the notion that the insects came from here, and we're the aliens. Now, it could be the other way around. They might be the aliens, or we might have both evolved on the same planet. Who knows? Or been deposited. So, bugs can be interesting, because at least with the bugs, spiders in particular, arachnids, some spiders do have a bit of commonality with lobster or crab, I should say, and sometimes they even taste alike. I've never eaten a spider, but I've been told. So, it's some interesting stuff going on there. But with the dolphins, it's very interesting you mentioned dolphins, because I just finished the book. It was a relatively short book. I picked it up on Audible, audiobook, although I'm sure you can get it other ways. And let me see if I can find a picture of the cover of the book. I mean, what the hell? I could do this right here. What is it? Talking with Dolphins book. I think the book is called Speaking with Dolphins. How to Speak Whale. Okay, that's a different. Here we are. Good, I found it. All right. This is the book I just read. So this was an interesting book. Like the guy, I don't know if he's a cool guy or not. I gotta look him up more, but he only mentioned climate change like once or twice in the middle of the book, which I'm fine with, because I get annoyed when you get into an audiobook and like within the first chapter, the author is like, blah, 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 climate change and this thing because of the iceberg. Like, I was reading a book about these doomed Arctic expeditions exploring the Northwest Passage. When they wanted to find a shortcut through the North Pole. And basically the author, instead of talking about the subject matter, the title of the book was The Man Who Ate His Boots. And basically, I guess it's about people who got stranded. And so you try to eat your boots. I mean, look, you got a boat stuck in a glacier. Okay, this seemed cool, because I just finished reading the book called The Terror. And that's a very good book. But yeah, like within the first 2 pages, this son of a bitch is like, oh yeah, and the icebergs. He's reading a journal from a British sailor, and the British sailor is saying that the icebergs were 8 stories high, somewhere like north of Nova Scotia. And basically, because we don't have evidence of currently available, 8-story tall icebergs, therefore, climate change is like responsible. And even though this book is not about climate change, he had to bring it up. And I guess like when you're dealing with publishers and all these entities, it's like you're selling to the thing that's fashionable. You're selling to the propagandists, the people who push propaganda. They are more likely to help you get promoted if you mention their bullshit. And look, it doesn't even have to be bullshit. Like, I'm pretty mild when it comes to like arguing about the climate thing. Like, I actually get into arguments with people I generally agree with, and I don't want to get too deep on that, because I know we're talking about dolphins and whales and I'm sidetracking, but that's exactly what bothers me. Is I'm reading a book about this, and this dude has to mention the climate in the first 2 pages. I'm like, no, get out of town. So getting back here, this guy only mentioned a little in the middle, and you know what? It's not unreasonable, okay? Like he didn't go and make a big, he didn't grandstand about carbon. He didn't grandstand about how we must take action to deal with carbon emissions. That's what annoys me, is when, especially when you got wealthy people telling us that we gotta take action. One moment. Sorry, I had a call. That Google speaker thingamajig that I can get broadcasts on. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, did the mute button work? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so let me think here. Yeah, so this guy mentions climate change, but he didn't talk about a need to call for action. But I hate when people who are wealthy say that we need to take action on climate change, and yet you know damn well they're going to continue to live lavishly. They're going to continue to eat delicious steaks. You know, hey, what's up, Nerdporeal Lifeform? Nah, my channel is not currently under attack. Knock on wood. I'm just going in different rabbit holes right now, having a blast. You know, my friend Abrahadabra or Abra, you know, he's cool. Like he's got like, interesting content. You know, you go back early in the video, you see what we were talking about. And yeah, he's a friend of this channel, and he can leave as many comments as he wants, especially when he's one of 3 people watching. Nah, but jokes aside, yeah, no, my channel is not under attack. Abra is not a spammer, and as far as I'm aware, I don't think I have any spammers here. Okay, good. Yeah, I did get a couple of those sex bots recently, but not today. So yeah, so far so good. I don't think my channel is under attack, but I hope that remains to be the case. So let's see here. We have 2 suns and icebergs drilling go back 400,000 years from Antarctica, show that these are natural changes. Yeah, you know, I'm not sure about the 2 suns, but maybe we can elaborate on that in a minute. Ice cores definitely have a lot of evidence of like what changes and when, and some detail on why. I don't like when they take ice core samples, when the mainstream establishment, science people, when the academics who, you know, are what we call grant whores. Basically people who they, you know, live pretty well now, but in order to keep getting the big bucks, they gotta, you know, seek out grants. And you're not gonna get a grant by saying, I'm gonna do a study that tries to disprove this facet of the climate. You know, and I'm not saying people should, but I'm saying if you want to do real science, you should be willing to disprove your thesis. Because if you could disprove your thesis, then, or if you can't disprove your thesis despite your best efforts, then that says a lot, you know? It says like, okay, well, we tried to disprove it, failed to disprove it, you know, maybe there's some credence here. And I'm going to move my chat window over a little bit because I find like I'm a little late on the uptake. Like my friend, Nerdporeal Lifeform, leaves a message and I don't even see it until it's like after. So if I put the window to the left, I got an ultra widescreen monitor, which really comes in handy for this. You know, I could just shove that over to the left. Maybe I'll be able to see the messages more easily. And then I got, yeah, and I got a, oh wait, also fun fact, YouTube has a cool feature now. This I should show everyone. In fact, if Nerdporeal Lifeform is still watching, you should check this out. Everyone who uses YouTube should check this out. So if you go to live chat on someone else's channel or your own channel and you click the hamburger menu, the 3 dots, they now have pop-out chat. I don't know when this came out. I only noticed it a few weeks ago because when I watch Loki's Mornings of Mischief at work, I can't keep the chat window on full screen all the time. I can't keep the video window on full screen. I can watch it on my phone, but I sometimes want to be able to use my work keyboard instead of my phone keyboard, you know, to message people during a live stream while I'm at work. So yeah, this is real cool. You can do pop-out chat, and I just remembered I could do that. So now I could have it both ways. Let me see. Do I have my ultra wide? Where is it? Whoops. There we go. So see, in ultra wide, I got this guy here, or I could use the OBS chat box. So I'm not sure which one to use, but at least I have them both available. Like in Back to the Future. What was I just talking about? Oh, yeah. Let's see here. So, you know, I mean, like, yeah, so I basically got that popped out. I could put this here, but, you know, I really need to get more monitors, or I need to mount more monitors, you know? I mean, I would prefer to have more monitors, I should say. Speaking of which, I do have something on that topic here, but interesting thing that you're here in the Poor Real Life Forum. I remember you were doing that live stream a few weeks ago, and we were having, you were having video streaming issues, and I just want to show you something here, because this might relate. So just now on the bottom left corner of my main OBS window, it said video encoder is overloaded. So I was running the recording and the streaming at the same time. Because, you got, oh, that's kind of trippy. But, you got down here, start recording, and I got stream running. So I hit record, and then the bottom left corner of the window started, like, saying overloaded. So I'm surprised because usually my computer can handle that. Maybe I made some adjustments to my settings. But right now, I got my 2060 GPU. The CPU certainly is not overworked right now. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that. But I'm gonna rerun the recorder right now. I want to see if the encoder gets overloaded again, because if you look here, it said frames missed due to rendering lag. Okay, that's not bad. Frame skipped due to encoding lag. Okay, that was bad, but as a percentage of the total, it's not bad right now. But I want to keep an eye on that. And I don't know if it tells me about the recording losses. Yeah, it doesn't show me the recording losses, but my guess is if the encoder for recording was overloaded, because technically I'm running two different encoders right now. So you could set up OBS to use the same video encoder for streaming and recording. What I do is I use a separate set of settings for streaming, because I want, I want like something that, I guess, let me see, what do I don't even remember what I do right now. So NVIDIA encoder, 18 kilobits per second, 18 megabits, 18,000 or 18 megabits per second. So that's for live streaming. Most people run something below 8, which is fine. 8,000 is fine. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 is fine. Anything lower than 2,000 is too low. But over for recording, I got it at this crazy number here, 32,000, 32 megabits per second. And I do that because I want the highest quality 1080p recording that I can edit. And this is set to 1080p. So on my older computer, when I stream on my plasma TV, I have to lower these settings significantly, and I really can't record and stream at the same time. It will overwhelm it. But just now, it doesn't say it now. Now it's fine. Now I'm not getting any error message. So I'm very curious, but it's good talking to you, Abra. I'll catch you later, Mr. Abra, and you have a good evening, and hopefully we'll cover more ground on these esoteric topics at some point. But long story short, yeah, so I don't know why my encoder was just yelling at me, but I'm worried that if I go to play a game, that I'll still have a problem. So I'll have to experiment with that. But anyway, beyond that, I was talking about Retropalooza. So what else did I get? So I got a new GameStruck. Yeah, the one with the parallel port. Let's get this display window off the screen right now. But hey, if you want to pick my brain about anything related to OBS or streaming software, this is the time to do it, bro. Because I can actually demonstrate shit. So yeah, got a new GameStruck because I bricked my other GameStruck, which I also just misplaced. So this one, does it work? I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if my Ultra HDMI outputs, I get no display sync. I think I got sold a broken GameStruck. I might have to figure out how. The good news is my new GameStruck has a parallel port on it, so I should be able to do something to it. I'm not sure what, but I should be able to do something. Beyond that, I bought Ridge Racer, even though I don't need Ridge Racer because I already own a flash cartridge. In fact, I don't know why I'm showing the board here, but I can explain. So yeah, my plan is I got someone's phone number at Retropalooza, and I'm going to go and test out all of the games I currently have on my flash cart. And I'm going to tell them, ask them if they, I'm going to give them a list of games that I want that don't work on my flash cartridge. Because that's basically what dictates what I'm going to buy. So basically, I don't know which part. Well, two things, many things. I'm going to do many things. But one, I'm going to test out the games on this flash cartridge. And I'm going to text a guy from Retropalooza who was selling N64 games. Basically, I'm going to tell the guy what games I want, because when you buy N64 games, when I buy N64 games, my rule of thumb used to be whatever games don't work in an emulator, I will buy on a cartridge right away. Nowadays, a lot of games that I don't need to have cartridges, although cartridges are nice, but I can't buy every N64 game. So the high priority N64 games are whatever games don't work on the flash cartridge. If it doesn't work on here, I'm going to give that list. I'm going to find out what games don't work on here. And those are the games I'm going to try to find out if I could buy from that guy or I could buy from anyone else. But I'll give that guy first dibs on the sale since he was nice enough to let me take down his number. Because, you know, essentially N64 games, very few of them run in emulators particularly well. Some of them, like Mario 64, is virtually perfect. On the other hand, what was it? GoldenEye, kind of sketchy. Yo, everyone needs a producer. I was just saying that before. Is that what I said before? I don't know. But yeah, we all need producers, Nerdporio. Let me tell you, like, number one, yeah, producers or technical director. I mean, look, I say, like, you know, get a little rotation going. Maybe, you know, you find like 3 people who you trust who are competent. Because, you know, maybe, like, for example, I guarantee you I'm not available on Saturday. I'm not available Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Well, maybe Tuesday night. But I'm not available on Tuesday before 10 p.m. And that's because, you know, I work, you know, 12 hours on those 3 days. But any other day, you know, I mean, like, if I know ahead of time and I can make myself available, you know, you get someone like me and someone else, like, who is available at different times, and you could probably get someone to help out on the more rowdy streams. You know, you don't necessarily need, I don't think I need a producer for every stream, but there are times where if I had, like, many people in the chat and I was trying to do multiple things, it would be nice to have, like, another person, like, reading the chat, controlling this. What I really need to look into, now that you mention it, this is unrelated, but, like, I mean, like, you know, maybe even giving someone remote access to an instance of OBS. That would be worth something to me because, like, I like the idea of having multiple people controlling it. I kind of have, like, I kind of always push a tall order on this stuff here. I really should just keep it simple. Yeah, so about the gameplay stream, you know, if you have any questions about any aspect, I will try to answer because I might be able to give you some examples. I mean, I think we covered all of the relevant points a few weeks ago. But essentially, if we do an experiment right now, you'll see, like, my computer is a mess right now. Oh wait, I can't click that. I got, like, all of this stuff open. Having a second webcam running will also overwhelm resources a bit. Let's see, we can turn on the autofocus. So where things are gonna get a little sketchy, where I'm gonna make it a little sketchy right now. Where's my window? Okay, so I'm gonna put this in my secondary monitor. Right now, OBS is saying the video encoder is fine. In fact, you know what? I got an idea. I had a brainstorm just now. I want to see if I can replicate the issue you had weeks ago or explore real quick if I have solved that issue on my own end. Okay, so we got the stats up. We're going to do something cool here. We're going to take this. We're going to pop into that. We're going to say window capture, show. And then we got to go and change it to Open Broadcast Studio. Wait. Oh, look at that. OBS doesn't let you do screen capture on OBS. That is interesting. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense, but that sucks because I really want to do that. Okay, that's okay. We're going to do screen capture. Because I want to do stats. Okay, so we're going to do that. Screen is screen number 2. Wait, is that screen number 1? Okay. Then I got to shrink this one here. Whoops. Ah, schnitzel. Oh, God. That's interesting, actually. That could work. Huh. A little sloppy, though. Okay. No, I want this window nice and compacted. Whoop. Oh, no, don't do that. Okay. OBS is really trying to like, oh gosh. I really don't want OBS to do that. Okay, we're going to try something here. We're going to put this up here. Then we put that here. Then I can go and shuffle that. Because I want to do a quick experiment if you got a couple minutes, because this might be instructive. Or you can go back to the stream later and check this out, because I know, you know, people got lives. Okay, so these are the stream stats right here. So we're going to try to break this system, if that makes sense. So we're going to just put this down here like that. And what we're looking for is like an error message. So if I open up, and where's my chat window? Okay, good. I got my chat window open. So if I do, we're going to do Dirt Rally 2.0. I need to plug in a gamepad. Now here's the sucky thing. I bought a 360, I bought an Xbox One controller at Retropalooza, but it doesn't work. I need to do some additional stuff in order to make it work on my PC, because I thought all of the Xbox, 360 controllers, Xbox One controllers worked, but apparently you need like a certain model, or you need to buy a dongle. And if it's just a dongle, I'll buy the dongle, but well, let's see here. We're gonna go, and this game should push the resources pretty rough. So we just got to do a little, screen resolution adjustment. If I can remember how to do that. Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be fun because I got a super duper widescreen monitor. So we do windowed borderless. There we go. 16:9. No, we got 21:9, and there we go. My settings are fairly high. Oh, and I really should where's my task manager? I should really have task manager showing it too. Now, this might be a little tricky to show, but let me see here. How can I? Yeah, now task manager is a little hard to show, but if I was going to show any aspect of task manager, it would be the I guess the GPU stats. Because the CPU is fine. The CPU is like low resource usage, you know? You know what? We can alt tab into task manager periodically during gameplay, if that's what we'll do. So CPU is currently low. Now GPU, technically the 3D doesn't get used by the video encoder. Video encoders are using the video encode part of the GPU. What is happening under 3D? That's OBS's compositing crap. So like how I just took the stats window and resized and cropped it. That's happening in the 3D part of the GPU. So in other words, when I play a game, I am taking a little bit of resources off of the top here, but it shouldn't interfere with my video because I'm using the NVIDIA video encoder. So in other words, this and this are not related. This does not have anything to do with gameplay. So, well, let's just find out. Let's see how far I get, because I mean, my game settings are pretty cranked up. I lost my mouse. Oh, there we go. I hate when my mouse gets dust in it. All right, there we go. I gotta clean my mouse at some point. All right. So now let's fire it up. This is just an excuse for me to play this game. Nah, but jokes aside, I can do this. Then I gotta figure out something after this. But yeah, so my plan is to do my Retropalooza haul. I want to show people, you know, the stuff I got at Retropalooza. I may do that on a live stream. I might just use the existing recorded footage, because I did record some footage. It's just that, you know, I've started editing it, but you know how my workflow gets. You know how I get backlogged. All right, so this car is a wreck. In fact, I don't think this is gonna be a fun race. Yeah, this is not. I'm not driving this race. We are going to retire from this event, because if I start a new event, it'll let me repair my car. Then we could push the GPU to the limit. So right now, I'm not getting any warnings. Good, I can fix the entire car. I can upgrade my engine. And I'll leave that alone because I only have 16K in video game money. Alrighty. So right now, how's our task manager looking here? Oh, no audio. Whoops. Let me get some audio here. All right. I'm going to crank it down a little bit, but if anybody's watching, let me know if you want me to crank up the game audio a little bit. I tried to make the game audio low, but it might be too loud. It's a little too loud for me.
Starts flat crest 30, crest and don't cut, 3 right long tightens, into 3 left over crest long tightens.
So let's see what happens. Let's see if I, you know, if my computer freaks out. Right now, GPU is good. Right now, we should see all of the stats on the bottom of the screen. So if we have any dropped frames, in fact, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reset the stats.
Flat crest 30, crest and don't cut, 3 right long tightens, into 3 left over crest long tightens, 30, 3 right long tightens over crest, 30. Open hairpin left. Opens.
Oh!
To keep middle of a crest.
No! Okay, recover.
Middle of a crest.
Oh, I lost my my chat window. Right, there we go. So basically, I'm just testing. I want to see if my theory is correct. You know, or at least not so much theory, but I want to demonstrate proof of concept here. And the proof of concept I'm trying to demonstrate is that this should not tax resources too heavily if I'm using the GPU. So if I was not using NVIDIA encoder, the CPU would be busting its ass. Here we are. Do that. So now the CPU is not busting its buttocks.
Don't cut. Opens.
Oh man, this is how you damage your car in this game.
Into 3 right long. 5 left.
Oh my own.
Opens of a crest 30. 4 left long. Tightens 3. Into 4 right long. Opens. Into 4 left long. Opens. Into 5 right. Slow 30. Open hairpin left. Into open hairpin right.
So, you know, I think I don't necessarily need I mean, I certainly don't need a producer at my stage of growth yet. You know, I can still handle things on my own, and for the foreseeable future, I should be able to. A producer definitely would make things easier, but what I would say is I would prioritize control. I want to make it easier to control stuff. So to that, and you saw weeks ago, if the Porvio is still watching, I'm curious, let me see, I should be able to see in the stats. Concurrent views, chat rate, 6 views, 0 watching. Okay, nobody's watching. But for future reference, anybody who might stumble into this or anybody relevant to the topic at hand, I would say a priority for me would be control over the stream. So for example, that would consist of, what's that thing called? Using a stream deck. That would be a good device to have on hand. You know, a stream deck similar to this. So a few weeks ago, Nerdporvio Lifeform was doing a stream, a members stream, and I was actually, I figured out, I kind of had a brainstorm, and I was able to get this to work the way I needed it to work. Because for a while, I bought this, and for over a month, I couldn't get it to do what I needed it to do. So I gave up on it. You know, sometimes you just need to sleep on an issue until you figure it out. And I kind of like, I figured out how to set it up, so I was good to go, basically. But a stream deck seems like it would be way cooler to have, because you can have multiple pages of buttons. You can have multiple pages of, you know, screens or settings or buttons, as we call it. So that's the, you know, thing to have.
Into 3 right long of a crest,
because you can reassign different buttons to different jobs. So people use the Stream Deck to control, you know, like Photoshop, and then they go into their video software, and then the buttons will change based on that application, or perhaps even different games. But even for my purposes, for streaming, I would just want it so that I could have, like, page 1 would be buttons I use frequently. Page 2 would be like buttons that, you know, I sometimes need, but not as much, let's say. And the idea would be if I could just go between page 1 and 2, you turn 7 buttons into 14 buttons, let's say, as an example. That's excellent, because right now, with a numeric keypad, I could print out labels and put them on the buttons, but obviously reassigning the buttons or having multiple functions for each button isn't really a feasible option on a numeric keypad. And so what I would do is I would, yeah, use the Stream Deck, not Steam Deck, but Stream Deck. And my only reason of not buying it was I wanted to hold off. I wanted to see what other options. Look, a numeric keypad costs like $12 to $15. A Stream Deck can be like $150. So, you know, might as well try the cheaper one. My current keyboard on this desk does not have a numeric keypad, so I needed a numeric keypad anyway. I do have Da's keyboard on my other computer, but I don't feel like moving it up here. I picked this keyboard out particularly for streaming. Something that would have the characteristics of a mechanical keyboard without making as much noise. And it's alright. I don't completely like operating the type of non-clicky mechanical keyboard I have, but it's not bad either. It's better than a normal keyboard, I would say. Oh man, I keep overshooting those. So this is a game where you need to be ready to drift. And there's a trick to drifting. Okay, so that's interesting. I did see a little aberration on my video quality just now. Like, not so much quality, but I mean frame rate. I did see my frame rate take a hit. I probably should find the setting to enable, I should find out if I can enable the, whatchamacallit. Alright, so supposedly there's a way to turn on the FPS counter. I don't think it's actually here, but I was told it might be here. Yeah, I don't think it's in this particular app. I don't even think this is... Yeah, no, I don't want Xbox Game Bar. Get the... I should disable this. I never wanted Xbox Game Bar. I was looking for the Steam settings. Yeah, so right now, that is what is absent from my experiment, is a display for my FPS counter. Okay, here we are. It is in the Steam settings. So I go to Steam, settings, config in-game, display in-game FPS counter. We'll put it on, how does the top right corner sound? Alrighty. Now we should be in pretty good shape. Alright, I do not see my frame rate counter. Do I have to exit the game to get that? Because I want to see it now. I don't want to wait for that shit. I want to see it now. Okay, yeah, looks like I have to exit the game. I'm not going to do that now, but looks like that's what Steam requires me to do. Or did I click OK? Maybe I didn't click OK. No, yeah, it's not it. Okay. So yeah, it looks like I have to exit the game, but in the future I will show the frame rate. For now, I can rely on the stream. So I know OBS isn't yelling at me, and if I watch my recorded video and the frame rate is good, then I know it's basically good. But once in a while, I don't mind if I see a little bit of video skipping here and there, like in the game itself. I'd be more upset if I saw the video recording, you know, skip. I don't want the recording to skip unless it's recording the gameplay, so to speak. If the game skips and I recorded that, that's cool. But if the video encoder skips while the game played flawlessly, I'd be a little disappointed, you know? Alright, so let's get this race over with. Now, are there other ways we can test quality? Yeah. So I'm gonna... I can save my game and then probably start... You know what? I know what I'll do. I'll play it in a free play mode so that I don't have to worry about damaging the car or anything. Alrighty. Hit the guy. Not too bad. I usually do much more damage to my automobile, so I can live with this. But yeah, I mean, the stats, and I'm so glad I found something to put on the bottom of my screen here. Like, I've been looking for something to put on the bottom, and I found it, man. It's the stats. That's what belongs down here. So going forward, that's what I'm going to put on the bottom of my screen is stats. And I just want to clean it up a little bit. There we go. That is most excellent. That works. Look at that. You know, this is a good setup here. Yeah. If I don't say so, if I can say so myself, this is not bad. All right. That does not work. I'll have to investigate that. Can we do that? We could. I mean, it probably doesn't look aesthetically right, but I could totally do that. Yeah, what the hell? Might as well. But I'm pretty satisfied with this bottom of this screen thingamajig here. Right, continue game. We'll go into free play mode, do a little more testing, and I think for the final test, I might even capture the screen for the Windows Task Manager. So let's see how we could do that is do window capture, Task Manager. And then I just have to shrink it because I think this is too buku. And we can even put it down here. And we could probably crop elements of the window a little bit here and there. Let me see, how much of it can I crop? Oh yeah, I can crop the entire bottom here. Now there is a link to the Windows Resource Monitor. I don't use it often because I just find it's like a little overkill for what I'm using this for, but I should check on that. So let's see, if we open this up, this is like something you would find on a Windows NT environment back in the olden days, I think. And well, yeah, you get really into the weeds on this. As you can see, you get like every CPU core, every thread, but it doesn't really, have the GPU in there. It does have some helpful information if you're a developer or something like that. Some of this disk I/O stuff could be really helpful for certain situations I have to deal with. Memory. CPU. Well, and you could do like, let's see, we look for, oh, I just had it. Dirt Rally. Okay, well, I highlighted Dirt Rally, but I don't know what that does. Like, does it show me anything? I guess it is low on CPU usage now. Oh, okay, this is cool. It shows you like a lot of the related applications, I think. So you can like check off, I guess, other apps. No, wait, these are all the same. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, okay, well, you get the idea. So like if you want to get really into the weeds, that can be helpful. But if I was loading a game on right now, I think this would get busy. Network, that's interesting. There's some network activity. I don't know why if there's any network activity. I'm not even... But it's not a lot, actually, so that's fine. Memory, well, that makes sense. I mean, the game is using up a fair amount of RAM. So, this is something on the bottom left corner of Task Manager. There is the resource monitor. But for now, we're just going to keep Task Manager open on the corner. And we can actually do a quick experimentation here. So,
starts at 120.
my big problem with this game is it lets you resume a challenge. Like we're in the middle of a daily challenge right now. It lets me resume it, but it doesn't let you quit. It doesn't let you exit unless you forcibly exit the game. So I pretty much have to break the game by forcibly exiting the game. Okay, so we're purposely pushing things to the limit. So CPU usage is not bad at all right here. Like, it's pretty mild. And basically my first core is like doing the most work. So, that's not atypical. When I paused the game, CPU usage dropped a little bit. And same with GPU. The GPU, I think it actually did more work when I started doing this. So if I pause it, whoops, okay, it's gonna disqualify me if I don't get going. So I'm gonna drive real slow for a minute. Whoops, gotta turn around. Turnabout intruder. I'm not reading the chat anymore, so I don't know if anyone's chatting me, but I'll jump back to it in a minute. Okay, so I made a U-turn. Now I'm gonna drive quickly. We're gonna see how that affects the GPU. Then I stop short. And I do a rotation thing like this. This is why I use the Xbox 360 controller. Look at that. You could get real fine control over the throttle in these types of games. That's the co-driver. Hey buddy, how you doing? Must suck being him. I mean, the way I drive, this poor guy really... Yeah, I'm gonna drive really rough on him. Ready? Ah, there we go. Oh wow, he's got a good seatbelt. He's got one of those helmet straps so his head doesn't get major whiplash. So now if I go back to my task manager... Oh, that's cool. The game paused automatically. So... there was a spike right there. I don't, and I feel like there was a spike at an unexpected moment, like when I was switching in and out of the game, apparently. So, because I don't think that pausing the game should use a lot of CPU. Maybe it was the way I was stopping short. Maybe that taxed the CPU. Okay, so now we're gonna pause it. Alt tab. Let's see what happens. So, okay, CPU spiked before. This time, it only dropped when I paused it. Video. You know, essentially we get... So basically there's two good things going on here. One, despite OBS using some video graphics overhead, the game doesn't seem to push it too hard either. So that's actually good. But you can see over here my GPU memory is maxed out. So we're going to drop out of the game right here. And I forcibly exited the game so that I don't lose my my standing in the game. And so it looks like whatever I'm doing right now is using like 2 gigs. So my plan is to get an NVIDIA Quadro, but I may not have to buy the expensive one. I may not have to buy this one here. But this is what I use in my server to do video transcoding when I'm streaming content on my home network. And basically this is something that, once again, my server would use up a lot more electricity and generate a lot more heat if I didn't have this installed. And this makes it so that video that I watch on my TV gets re-encoded in real time, gets compressed. But if I had this in this computer, if I had one in this computer, I could set OBS up to, you know, use this for the video encoding. So in other words, if I had this installed, you would see an additional GPU here, and all of this overhead that OBS is, you know, dealing with right now, that OBS is causing, would be shifted to the other GPU. Now, this part wouldn't be so bad, but if, let's say, OBS was overwhelmed and I wanted to open a second instance of OBS because one GPU couldn't handle it, I could spread the load across 2 GPUs, but I don't think I need to do that. This GPU is well suited for what I would use it for. Furthermore, I can have like my best monitor or best main monitor on one GPU, and then I have all my secondary monitors on here. So the idea is if you have like a 3-monitor setup, none of your extra monitors would be taxing the resources of the primary. So that's the plan. I think I'm going to get probably a different model because this one is a single slot model. So you actually pay a premium to get a single slot GPU that does not need an extra power connection. A lot of GPUs, you know, require a supplemental power connection on the inside from the power supply. This does not need that. So people with these slimline servers tend to pay a premium for this because this is the only GPU they can stick in their server. My server, it was more of a matter of convenience to have this, but it did help out too because some of the larger GPUs don't fit. And so anyway, other than this, what else am I going to be doing on this channel? Well, you know, like I said, this is a state of the channel video, so I'm going to talk about some of the other things. So earlier in this video, if you rewind, I showed my Star Wars Pez dispensers. I'll talk about this comic I bought and the gentleman who sold it to me. And I really probably should just do some video capturing here, editing. So what I will do is take the video off of my camera here. Here. And transfer it into my, you know, DJI Osmo videos folder. So this here should, in fact, did I already do this? I might have already recorded this footage here. That's my Retropalooza here. So I got 50 gigs, 19 gigs. Okay. I gotta double check this and see if I got all of my Retropalooza content, but I'll figure that out before I copy duplicate data. So yeah, that's the state of the channel, and I really hope and want to get something out before the week is over. Just so that I could try to get on a habit, maybe get one video out a week. That would be my aspiration. I might do one every 2 weeks, but I'd really like to do one a week. And with that, I thank anyone who is watching for watching. And anyone who's tuned in, thank you for watching. Please check out Abra's channel, Abrahadabra111. Please check out the Nerdporeal Lifeform if you're into sci-fi and discussion on matters relating to sci-fi comics and horror. A lot of interesting horror-related stuff this past week and month due to Halloween being in season. And with that, I thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And from there, we shall now end transmission.